Do you know if other cities around have like an organization like this, or is this kind of a
I'd say it's pretty rare. We're kind of really grassroots, but there are, there's forms of it. It's more like a bigger form, Athens has been doing it for 38 years. So with the farmers market, it's like 38 or 39 years old this year. Mm-hmm. AceNet's been doing it we've been doing it since 1992, and AceNet created us. So they've been doing it since 1980 and 80 something, and so is Real Action. We're definitely more well developed, and if they are in other cities, we tend to be more well developed, except for like the Franklin Park Conservatory or something like that. That's got a lot of resources behind it.
Why do you think Athens, like a place like Athens, was the one to develop something like this?
Because we have so many. It's just a college town. I think it's because it's a college town, and we have so much innovation just constantly streaming through here with the youth. Even though they're not here that long, they still bring a bunch of ideas, and then also energy, and then also it's kind of like every state has their Athens, and like Michigan, it's Ann Arbor, and it's just everybody has their liberal city that seems to be on the cutting edge of like liberal ideas. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think, and also I don't know. It seems to work here. We have a really strong farmers market. They're an independent association that are, even if we didn't exist, they would be strong. Yeah. And we just help them get more money and like try and get people buying from them and whatnot. But I don't know, I think it's something about the city of Athens.
Do you think that has to do why the local food movement's also doing so well here?
Mm-hmm. Because the customer has been very well trained. In a good way, to understand the value of this food that's being offered to them, and they're willing to pay the price for it. Mm-hmm. So it keeps these farmers coming back, and it keeps it easier for them to keep farming. Mm-hmm. They have to be able to get paid a decent pay, and Athens residents understand the value of that and are willing to pay it. And so they see the value of that is coming back to them as a community. Mm-hmm. They'll have a stronger knit community, and so they feel it's worth it to pay $3.50 a dozen for eggs.
I love the farmers market.
Yeah,
you can going there.
Yeah, and you can still get stuff that's not expensive just because you know where to get it now. So I think we have such a strong community of people who are willing to, no matter what the weather, go over there, and they're out there no matter what the weather. So we can get our panty asses over there and just go buy from them. So I think we have a lot of people that are willing to do that. And trained, and to pay double. I have to pay more for here than I would pay in Gloucester.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I sell in Gloucester, and I have to lower all my prices.
That's
like
crazy.
$1. Like $1. Like a lot, when it's only $3 anyway to get,
That's crazy.
I know, it is crazy, but you got that trained customer base.
Well, with the push, nationally, the whole organic thing, do you think that, which one do you think is more important, eating locally or organically?
Locally. The carbon footprint, because I could eat organic from California, even if it's a product I can't get here, and it might, that's gone through as much stuff as any lettuce in the United States has gone through, organic or not organic. But it is supporting, I suppose I would buy that over, if I only had the choice of California organic and California non-organic, then I would buy the organic. But if I had a choice of local, naturally raised, and California organic, I would buy the local in a heartbeat. And it's because of the carbon footprint, and I probably know the farmer, so there's a lot of personal connection, and I know what they have and how they grow it and what varieties they use, and so I know, and they're willing to tell me all that stuff too.
With the higher prices of eating locally, do you think it's economically sustainable?
I don't think it's that much higher priced.
Okay.
I think that's a perception that needs to be broken. There are things that are higher priced, but there's also things that are higher priced. In season, if you go to the farmer's market, you can get a bushel of grade B tomatoes for $6.
Wow.
A bushel. Now, but if you buy up on the table, you're buying 5 tomatoes for $3. They've got the grade A's up on top, but they always have the second level that's great. You can get a big box. It's like it's a big peck. It's a peck of them, of pears, of apples, of peaches, of I don't know about plums, but the bigger ones, the bigger fruits, for $4, and that's a lot. And then go freeze it.
That is true.
And then don't eat don't buy apple. Yeah, don't buy like things that are out of season, because they'll be a higher price. Like the first tomatoes that come in will be a higher price because they're in May, and tomatoes don't come out till July. That's 2 months. So don't buy if you don't have the money, but wait till July or August when there's this glut, this huge glut of tomatoes, and go pick them yourself for $2 a bushel, and go can them and get 20 quart jars off of a bushel, and then you'll have, do that, and you'll have 80 jars of tomatoes in your
Yeah.
That you don't have to go buy tomatoes at that point.
Do you know if they do have places around here that you can, like, pick your own foods?
Yeah, some of the farmers down, they do it down in Meggs.
Okay.
They do it, yeah, quite a bit. Some of those big tomato farmers down there will open up their fields every now and again. It depends, it depends on the weather, it depends on how their crops went that year. Do they have time to let it sit for 3 more days, or do they need to plow it under?
Yeah.
But they try and make an effort to get that food out.
I know, up where I'm from, we used to do that in the summer.
It's hard, because it's a lot of work to do it, but there's people that'll go to it too and go pick them for $2 a bushel.
Yeah, obviously.
And how long does it take to pick? 5 bushels is enough tomatoes for almost any size family, and that would probably take 2 hours.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun.
It's kind of fun. You get sunshine. You get exercise.
I was reading on the 30 Mile Meal blog, who Natalie Woodruff actually sent me to you, but she had a post about how Walmart was selling local foods, and so. Well, actually, and it was saying that, like, in California, they were considering a local, just anything in California. But
the Walmart was.
Yes.
Okay, the California's in Walmart.
Yeah, they were saying anything local was within California. But
well, okay, they do that a lot at the state level. They do that a lot here in Ohio.
Do you think that defeats the whole purpose of the local food movement?
Yeah, and when you start having to, make jars of pickles on such a large scale, you start to get into EPA regulations that are a little hard, like you have to have more preservatives, or you have to have more ingredients in order to make it safe for resale, and all that, different lids, and you start to dilute the whole product. It costs more you start to dilute the quality of the product in order to be able to create a massive amount at once. And so anytime you go on a bigger level, it's gonna compromise the quality.
I never thought about that.
Because if I'm at home making like 12 jelly jars of jam, and then you compare me to Smucker's, which has got to be making maybe 1,400 jars of jam an hour, or something, and I only really need, to get me through the year, I probably need 40 jars of jam. Well, that's, I'm making 12 jars right there, that's boom. So it doesn't take that much time, but my quality is going to be way higher. Yeah. Quality is going to be a lot higher in smaller batches.
I never really thought about it that way. That's interesting.
That's how I think about it. Because, Walmart can only buy on a huge scale. They really, efficiency-wise, they have to buy on at least a statewide scale, if not a national scale, or an international scale. When they buy all those toy guns, they buy as many as they can, and and so that every Walmart in the world has a selection of those toy guns, and so they're never gonna have the quality of what I can do at home or what my local vendor will do for me at their home.
Yeah. Let's see. Going in a different direction. Has CFI worked with any of the restaurants that are uptown, like Casa or places like that promote local foods? We do, yeah. They support different things for us. We just had a fundraiser there. Mr. Bob Stewart did it. Oh, really?
Yeah, Mr. Bob Stewart.
Where?
At Casa.
Oh, really?
Just on the 27th or something of the last Sunday in February. And then just things like they support, like we have a harvest dinner every year, and then Casa will buy their tickets to it. The kids' tickets. Casa will buy tickets for the Kids, which is a group we work with. So they'll just support us. They'll just give us $200 to buy stuff at the donation station or whatever. They just. There's certain things they like. They'll help. The junior chef school, we work together on that. That's at the farmers market. And then, we're all crossing paths at the same time somehow with AceNet or with Rural Action or with Casa or the Village Bakery. They're our corporate sponsor.
Oh, really?
That's what we say. Yeah. The Village Bakery and Delazona they used to be on the board president and vice president, the owners of that. And then who else? Then there's Catalyst Cafe and all that stuff. But yeah, we try to, keep in touch with them. And there's so much happening that we all still kind of do our own thing, but yeah.
How are the community gardens used that you guys have going on?
How are they used?
Like, who would you say usually, like, buys into the plots? And
It depends on where you're at. We have some in Athens, which are over on the west side. Here's a map of them right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'd say there's a mixture of international people, OU professor, administrative people that work administratively, OU people, and some seriously poor.
Okay.
Low income. And then some of these are students that are low income, and some of them are like, there's the public housing apartments right next door to us.
Okay.
And so some of them are from there. So it kind of is, but mostly OU. A lot of OU people.
Wow.
But because the international people are OU people too.
Yeah.
So, but,
That's a big chunk.
yeah. And that's really fun. They have a lot of different countries in there every year. And so.
So with that, is it just pretty much once they get their plot, they can grow whatever foods they want there? And
Yeah, they have a
harvest
contract,
them?
and then they can't keep your tools in the out of the pathways and whatnot. And then they're asked to give 10% of their food back to the community somehow. However they want to figure it out, they can do it. If it's giving it to their neighbor, or if it's giving it to the UCM, or if it's giving it to us to the donation station. They have to give 10% back to their community. And then we have gardens out in the county that we're trying to get going. And this, we're kind of, this one was already started. There's like, from where it is they're showing there, we had like a little bitty section of that used to be the gardens. And since CFI took it over, it's gotten huge. And so, but they were already there for like 15 or 20 years before we took them over. And so now we're in Chansey and Nelsonville and Chester Hill and Stewart and Gloucester. And then, there's other places we're always looking at, but it's only like the third year, and so we're still getting off the ground with a couple of them. But some of them are taken off, and some of them are not. And some of them are just like, like Chansey. They don't trust each other, so they're just kind of dog eat dog. So they're not really ready for it, but they are. They've got such hunger over there. It's such a huge issue.
I read on the website about the edible schoolyards. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? Like what they would be teaching to those kids and stuff?
We teach the Food is Elementary curriculum, which is by Antonia Demas, Demas. And we also just teach them about gardening. In Trimble, local schools, we have a 4-H group in the middle school where we teach them how to grow food and how to prepare food. We'll just do some fun whole food things with them. And then we have a culinary club in the high school at Trimble, and then we have the community gardens in Trimble that we run, and we also have the 4-H kids have to get a plot in the summer, so they have to grow food for the 4-H. Cool. And then we have the Trimble Township Farmers Market in Trimble, which is a part of the Edible Schoolyard Project. We're trying to create an avenue for these kids to be able to sell. So our ultimate goal is to get these kids who are young growing food for their community and selling it at the Trimble Township Farmers Market, but nothing goes fast. And so we're on about our third year though, but it's still, each one's growing individually, and we're trying to push them together. And try and create some sort of food economy in the Gloucester area. And then we have the Athens City Schools, and they have a greenhouse there at the high school that they're working on to grow greens for the high school cafeteria. So they're going to grow the salad greens. And
that's really
that's really fun. And we're trying to figure it out. And they're going to have greens, local greens, on St. Patty's Day next week, Thursday. All the schools in that city schools are putting on a big show. It's St. Patty's Day, and they're getting greens locally bought for all the salad bars. So that's like one day a year. And so we're trying to get better than nothing. We're like, at least they see it. Yeah. And so we're, and then we're getting, all the parents are paying for that, and it's like this big shebang. And then so that's all the city schools. And then Fed Hoc is we just started working in there, but we're doing a summer feeding set. We're working with the 8th grade science and math departments. We have a garden set out there. It just started in like September, so it's never been a full season, no tomatoes or anything yet. And then, so this spring they'll plant their garden, and then we're having a summer feeding site with the same age kids to take care of that garden during the summer. And then, again, we'll go through the fall and start, help them harvest. So it'll be our first full summer in Fed Hoc. So that's really exciting.